Welcome to This Just In, the show bringing you the latest advancements in healthcare, strategy, innovation, and public policy. And now, for the fastest voice in healthcare, here's your host, Justin Barnes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the special edition of This Just In Radio. I'm your host, Justin Barnes. Today, we're broadcasting live from HIMSS25 in sunny Las Vegas. Very excited to be here. It's already been an action-packed 72 hours. The HIMSS annual conference is always a centerpiece of my annual schedule, and this happens to be my 25th HIMSS annual conference and my 11th year broadcasting from the annual conference. Even in 2020, the COVID year, we still had the broadcast and all of the same amazing guests. We just hosted this broadcast remotely and all of my guests dialed in. Many of the same leaders you're going to hear today and over the next couple of days, like Hal Wolf, Rasu Shrestha, Anish Chopra, and many more familiar names. I feel very fortunate to be able to broadcast annually from HIMSS. Hal Wolf, Albie Zakes, Morgan Searles, and the entire HIMSS team have been extremely supportive, and I'm extremely and tremendously grateful. Also, I can make a special note of thanks to Roberta Mullen, Greg Masters, Carol Flagg, and the entire Healthcare Now radio team for their tremendous support and managing the demands of my HIMSS broadcasts annually and the recordings. Also, I'm eternally grateful to all of my hundreds of guests throughout the years and certainly to all of my loyal listeners. We owe all of this show's success to you, and we still are so honored to have won the Sway Health 2024 Healthcare Podcast of the Year award that never gets old, but rather challenges us to get better every day with every broadcast and every conference. Which leads us to today. This is the start of 3 days, 5 shows, and over 40 guests here in Las Vegas for HIMSS25. We have our best lineup yet of CEOs, CIOs, CTOs, care providers, researchers, policy leaders, and visionaries joining this show. As many of you know, my goal for broadcasting live each year from these key conferences is to create an information medium that shares best practices, key strategies, and actionable intelligence from the industry's leading sources and experts. My objective, along with all my guests here, will be to offer tactics and strategies to not only survive, but to thrive as you navigate your hospital, your physician practice, your company, or even your family through all these changes occurring across healthcare today. There is more opportunity than ever before for all of us to thrive, but we must understand how healthcare is evolving, how policy and reimbursement is shifting, and where best practices and innovation can support our efforts. I hope you glean all of this over the next few days. That's at least my goal. Welcome back to This Just In Radio Show, broadcasting live from HIMSS25 in sunny Las Vegas. I'm very excited to introduce my next guest, longtime friend of mine, or at least we've been doing a little bit of work together, but new friend of the show specifically, Dr. Eric Quiñones, Chief Healthcare Advisor with Worldwide Technology. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Good to be here.
Good to have you here. Before we dive into the questions, when did you get in town?
I got in on what is today?
I know, today's Wednesday. I know, I'm with you, 100%. Monday. Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, we got in on Sunday, and then I don't know if you had the bad winds, but we actually had to board our landing. First time I've ever boarded a landing on a jet before.
Oh boy,
coming in.
What did you come from?
That flight was from LA actually, but
okay.
Sarasota, Florida. But we went through LA to get here. But yeah, the winds were pretty bad coming in. So
sorry about that.
Yeah, it was interesting, very interesting. Anything you've seen that's fun around here for HIMSS25 so far?
I've been coming to HIMSS since 2005. Mm-hmm. So it seems post-COVID, it's gotten its legs back.
It has, yes, I
for
agree.
sure. Again, I would say from last year or the last few years, still AI is top of mind. Which I get. Cybersecurity is top of mind, and health equity is definitely top of mind. So yeah, there's some themes I think that have been around for a few years, but things are maturing a little more in some of those areas.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, we're seeing real life examples, not just talking about AI, but how is it making a demonstrable difference in care, finances, interoperability even.
Right,
so,
right. Yeah, no, that's a big one. I mean, we're really seeing, from November 2022, really when I would say AI became democratized, although it's been around since the 50s,
right.
We really have seen some tangible use cases, both on the clinical care side, and then also on, I would say, the efficiency side, of the house.
Absolutely.
Operation excellence, or we see that there too. So yeah, we see it in a lot of areas that are very practical now.
Yep.
Right.
So I think even taking off from there, what progress are you most excited to see in the industry today?
Well, okay, so my daughter came to me over the summer, and she said she is going to pursue medicine.
Oh.
So I did not pressure her.
Yeah,
My
great.
best friend did that, and then he's a physician as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I said, look, I would probably not be too excited about that if we weren't where we are today. Meaning, by the time you're ready to practice, you're on your own.
Good point.
It's going to be a different environment.
Yeah.
You're going to be practicing medicine completely differently. So, some real amazing things that we've been seeing, to help reduce physician burnout.
Right. And so less burnout. She'll be entering the world, and hopefully there's a lot less burnout on the clinician side. Yeah.
Right.
Good
So
point.
that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
And then with her, so definitely when we're seeing ambient technologies being used within, the patient-doctor relationship, when it's actually documenting the note and reducing that time that would take for us normally to do that, that's a big burnout.
Yep.
And then actually chart review. So we spend about a third of our time just looking at patients' records to see, okay, what are they coming in for again? What did I miss or what's been missed? But to be able to use large language models to curate that data and to put it up right there, right before, say 5 minutes before, now we know exactly what we should be talking about with that patient, what may have been missed in terms of their health maintenance and things like that. So that is some really amazing time-saving things that we're seeing.
Yeah, and if we want to move on to the next question, the last time we met up, we were on a panel, and you brought up the importance of interoperability, and that was actually not specifically one of the topics, but we kind of we brought that up as a key topic. Give a minute or so on your thoughts there, because we don't talk about it enough. We kind of are, it's obviously been a topic for 20 years in the industry. Sure. We're always getting better. It'll never slow. We'll always get better at interoperability. However, we don't talk about it as much. AI takes up a lot of the room.
I agree.
Go ahead and give 30 seconds on the importance of interoperability, data sharing, data exchange. Go ahead.
100%, I agree. So you can't really have you can't apply the technology of AI unless you have good data, right?
Yes.
So if our data is disparate, it's dispersed, and it's not in a format that we can actually consume, that's a problem.
Absolutely.
So that's a problem. So interoperability is a problem we'll continue to battle for years to come.
Yes.
It has to be fixed because if we can't actually have the patient's records where that patient may have gone to see somebody, in another state, or they may have been in another country, etc., and now they're with me, I don't know what's happened somewhere else because maybe they don't know or they don't remember.
That's right.
So to have that is really important because then that data will be feeding the models that we'll be using. So interoperability is really critical, and we need to be better at it.
Yes.
I think every day we get a little better,
We do.
but it's got a ways to go still.
Yeah, we do. And I think the importance there is the opportunity with AI will never hit its peak if we don't have the data unleashed. We talked about that at a dinner Monday night. We had a clinical research dinner with actually AWS and talked about how so they're going to push a lot of these institutions to use FHIR as a standard,
right?
Because we can do much more with AI, much more quickly, certainly with Gen AI, if this data is being shared,
right?
But we actually limit ourselves tremendously if we don't have that interoperability. So
100%.
No one's talking about that. We had talked about it at our dinner, but we had 40 people in the room. I wanted to get this out there more often because again, we're not talking about it quite enough.
Good. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yep. Thank you. So, what trends are you seeing in the industry today? We talked a little bit on the start of the show, but what are your thoughts on what you're seeing out there?
Well, definitely AI. AI fatigue, right? Yeah. So, but cybersecurity is a big one.
Yep.
So I think I saw some recent statistics like in the next 5 years. We expect to have about 500 breaches across the U.S.
Wow.
That'll affect about 150 million patients, and each breach, on average, will be about 18 million in fines per breach. So it's a problem.
Wow.
And now we'll be also seeing by 2025, we'll be seeing more surveillance, again, using AI within the cybersecurity realm to really be surveying that environment all the time. And to be battling against, bad,
actors,
actors, and to be more proactive in doing what they need to do. So that's something that I'm definitely seeing more of. Yeah.
Excellent. So and I think the stat that we brought up the last couple of shows is I think the average outage costs about $32 million. $1.9 million a day when the system goes down. But what we don't talk about enough is all the patient care that's actually not taking place. I mean, certainly if there's only one healthcare institution in a community and that system goes down, the tens of thousands of people who aren't receiving care for up to, I think the average outage is like 24 days or something like that.
Right.
So I mean, it's significant. So we don't talk about the care side, we talk about the financial impact, which is significant, but the care impact.
And so that's a huge thing. So not only are, when you have a situation like that, patients are getting diverted.
Yes.
Maybe they can't be received by that hospital because they just can't, because their systems are down. So they have to be diverted. But the other thing too that people are forgetting is that a lot of our newer physicians that are coming out, they may have not been trained like I was. So, and so, we were raised on paper records. We did that kind of documentation. So it's easier for us, for someone like me and my generation, to go back to paper when the system goes down. But it's not so easy for somebody that's just newer out of their residency and the system goes down. They have a little more difficulty.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Couple minutes left, so I want to bring up a couple of different points. First of all, what best practices or what strategy would you say, hey guys, this is how you engage. This is a good best practice on how to engage for data resiliency or anything like that?
I think understanding your environment, number one, that's the most important in terms of data resiliency. But it depends on what your goal is. I mean, if it is to shore up your cybersecurity environment, what is your current state? I think not enough institutions don't actually do that assessment. So what is their current state? Where are the gaps on the technology, the gaps in the devices that you have in your environment that are entry points into your system? On the AI side, so a lot of healthcare systems are wanting to go down this AI journey.
Absolutely.
Some are definitely at the cutting edge. Some are trying to figure that out. But I think for there is really getting your ducks in a row. So what does your data look like? So data governance, right? We talked about the interoperability, but cataloging your data, et cetera. So knowing the data. 2, your infrastructure, right? Very important. Do you have a high performance architecture to handle the things that you want to do? And do you have the right AI governance? Do you have the right people in the room that are helping to drive the decisions to support the initiatives that you're trying to do?
It's fantastic. Totally agree. So in the closing question, put on the, or we're going to the proverbial crystal ball. What's a strategy we need to be ready to navigate in 2 to 3 years from now that we may not be thinking about?
Oh boy. I think it's going to be really interesting in the next few years where we're going to see. So healthcare actually takes in about 36% of the global data. Okay, that's more than any other vertical, any other industry.
That's good stuff.
But of that data, it's still a lot of it is non-discrete. It's like 80%. Okay, and we're going to be getting more data. So when you think of your genome, your biomes, you think, so we're going to be getting more data, wearables, so data coming from other places, and then we're going to be seeing, I think what we're going to be seeing is more precision medicine. So precision medicine will be something that I'm really excited about. So really, again, targeted to you individually, right? What are your risks? What can we be doing right now to prevent some of these things that can be showing up in the next 10 years, right? Or if something, you do have, a condition, what is the right treatment for that condition? Because it may be different for you than for me. So I think we're going to be seeing more of that.
I love it. I get excited because you're talking about our digital twin, basically, which does have our genome sequence, and so we actually will know what drugs can work on us, what will not work. We're much more intelligent. We don't have as many guinea pigs as we were back in the day because we're going to know a lot of that stuff, certainly with Gen AI and so forth, and having that digital twin. So I've seen a little bit of that while we're here. We've been talking about it a lot, but we're starting to see a little bit of that. But I completely agree. 2 to 3 years from now, we're going to see that much more mature.
Exactly.
Which is extremely exciting, certainly as patients.
As patients and doctors. So it really does, or clinicians, I should say. I mean, all the care team. It's really exciting when we see that kind of progress. Because in reality, so here's a fact. In 1950, medical knowledge doubled every 50 years. Today, it doubles every 74 days.
Great stat.
I cognitively cannot keep up. So we need these kinds of tools to help us.
That's the big thing, is we can't, our minds can't even keep up. And so that's why these tools are going to be invaluable moving forward. Dr. Quiñones, Worldwide Technology, thank you so much for joining me on air.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome back to This Just In Radio Show, broadcasting live from HIMSS25 in sunny Las Vegas. We're here at the AMD booth. Very happy to be here. I'm excited to introduce my next guest and friend of the show, new friend of the show, Nicole Roskill, Director of Partnerships for Help Scout. Welcome to the show, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
Glad to be here. When did you get in town?
Got in town yesterday.
Yesterday
Evening, yes.
Excellent. And
yes.
You having fun so far?
I am. It's great.
What's the most notable thing that you've seen or heard since you've been here?
Certainly the AI pavilion,
Yeah, okay.
and also like the startup area, which is really really interesting, and some neat things that they've got going on over there. So there's a couple notables.
What are your goals for being here?
Certainly to meet with customers.
Yep.
Partners,
excellent,
prospective customers and partners,
absolutely,
and to really just get immersed in healthcare and see what everybody's doing these days.
So I love that term. I don't say prospect. I say future customer or prospective customer.
Nice.
I don't say prospect. And you did too. I love that.
It's such a positive thing
exactly.
to say, right?
It's fantastic. So what progress are you? I like to start my show off. What progress are you most excited about seeing in the industry today?
So there are a couple things that I think I'm really excited about. So one is certainly patient-centered communications, patient engagement.
Yep.
The way organizations are really thinking about making sure that patients get access to care and are engaging them along the way. Help Scout is a customer support platform, and so we're really all about customer experience and patient experience. And so it is an area that I think is going to continue to grow in the coming years in terms of really needing to make sure that patients have access and get engaged in the way they need. I'm also super excited about AI
yes.
and self-service tools, automation. That is having an impact on every industry. It's probably the biggest sea change that I've seen in my career.
Yep.
And so to think about AI and the promise of that is reducing repetitive tasks, allowing providers to really focus on patient care. That I think all that stuff is really important, and it's exciting to see it.
I love it. Great point. And I don't let people do sales pitches, and I know you won't, but I do want you to tell me a little bit about Help Scout, because
Sure.
I'm not familiar with Help Scout.
Sure.
So give me the minute version, or 30.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're a customer support platform.
And who's your primary customer, target customer?
We are really cross-industry, but we
Okay.
primarily target small and mid-sized businesses
Okay.
or healthcare organizations.
Okay.
We have been around for 13 years. We've got 12,000 customers globally. We've got hundreds of customers in the healthcare space, and I think an excellent value proposition for companies that need to provide great patient experience. But also, I think another part of our value proposition is we want to provide the ability for our customers to really delight their customers and delight their patients. And so the platform in and of itself has a very intuitive UI.
Yep.
It is very easy to use. We like to say that when you start using Help Scout, you can become a user within 15 minutes and a power user within a day.
Yeah.
And so I think in the healthcare space where the primary focus is on patient care, you need tools that really don't make your life harder, but make your
Absolutely.
life easier. So we like to say that healthcare can be complex. Support doesn't have to be.
Right. I love it. Great. So what healthcare or digital health trends are you seeing in the industry today?
Well, certainly, as I mentioned, AI. AI, self-service, and automation are the three that I would say are, I think are most impactful at this point. And so, like, from a self-service perspective, I like to think about, like, human psychology, and there's a human psychology element to waiting. When you're waiting and you don't have information,
Yeah.
it causes a lot of stress and
Absolutely.
anxiety. So, again, healthcare is complex.
Yep.
Support doesn't have to be. So, in terms of, self-service tools, things that we can do to make the provider experience easier and the patient experience easier, super excited about that.
Excellent. And what are some, like, what advice would you give to somebody, or how would they navigate that specifically? What types of tools? I mean, obviously you guys offer Help Scout, but what else, what trends or strategies to help navigate that?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think a couple of the best practices would be to make sure that when you're choosing tools, that you're choosing tools that are actually going to make your life easier, not more complex. So,
Right.
Tools that can fit more naturally into your existing workworkflows are going to be, better
go.
choices for you. So, I would say, that's one of the I guess the pieces of advice that I would give to folks that are trying to to navigate this. I think the second thing is we've always got to be focused on the patient experience and making sure that the patient's experience is better and not worse.
Absolutely.
So I'd say in just navigating this, you've got to just always have that patient experience in mind.
Yep. So how many HIMSS have you been to? How many annual conferences?
I have been to, I think this is my fourth.
Awesome.
Fourth or fifth.
Okay. Fantastic.
Love this conference.
Yeah. This is actually my 25th. I realized that on the flight out here. It's my 25th.
I was going to say, congratulations. This is I think your 9th one broadcasting.
11th
You're
broadcasting
11th.
live. Yeah. From the conference.
Congratulations.
And then Jake got me. We have 5 different broadcasts going while we're here.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
This is about 40 guests. It's a little bit insane.
Yes.
But it's all great because they're all great like you. So what are your goals for being here? Like, what do you hope to achieve while you're here for the next couple of days?
Sure. So, certainly learning more about how other companies are approaching the trends that I mentioned. Certainly understanding how organizations are adapting to this need for better patient support, better patient access. And then, we're always looking for interesting technology. So, one thing that Help Scout does is we have, over 100 integrations. And so we're thinking about interoperability, how we're integrating to help make things easier for customers. So I'm also sort of on the lookout for some of that.
Excellent. So partnerships and then...
Absolutely.
Any fun dinner events or anything like that?
Well, I'm going to some. I'm not hosting any, but I'm certainly going to be partaking.
Excellent. I think AMD has one tonight.
I think they do. I think I'll be there.
There you go. Excellent. So thinking beyond today, what's a key strategy or trend that we think we're ready to navigate in 2 to 3 years from now?
Right. Well, I think there are a couple things. One is that healthcare providers are already stretched pretty thin, and so we're having to figure out how to do more with less. And with an aging population, I would expect that is, that's not going to slow down. It's only going to pick up.
Correct.
And so the trend that I would say to navigate again is to figure out tools and strategies that you can use that can allow you to make sure you're focused on the best patient care. And so tools that you can use to eliminate some of the administrative burdens, streamline things for your staff. Certainly, staff shortages and staff burnout is going to continue to be, a thing.
Yeah.
So I think, finding tools that will aid not only your patients but also your staff is going to be an important thing to think about.
Yeah. No, I agree, and that's actually almost every guest have brought up. The burdens that we have in healthcare and the burnout that we have. Not just from a usability standpoint, but also just the daily grind that we have in healthcare.
That's right.
Yeah, we're taking it seriously. I know we are as an industry, but I love to kind of call people to arms as well, and call us to think about this even more strategically and put more thought into it, because we have an aging population, like you said. We have growing demands in our healthcare system. We have to learn how to do more with less. We have to embrace innovation and technology, but also I challenge our industry to step up too, to help create those innovations, help solve these problems at a grander scale, because we deserve it as patients. We're paying more than healthcare. We pay every single day more for healthcare than ever before.
That's right.
And we do deserve it. I'm very positive, very optimistic, and I think we're going to get there. And I think also my very first guest from our other show this morning, Rasu Shrestha, brought in how he thinks this is a good thing, and actually Anish Chopra also said this on his show. I think it's a positive thing that we have to kind of look inward a little bit. We have to look to solve problems more efficiently, challenge us to do more with less. You can't it's just unlimited money. We have to figure some of this stuff out. So let's use it as an opportunity to feel the pressure and look for solutions and solve them. So I think you echo a lot of that.
Absolutely. I mean, that is one thing that we think about every day at Help Scout is like, how do we help our customers, do their jobs better? How do we help them delight their customers, their patients? We've got a couple of customers here with us, and a couple of the things that Harley Therapy and Intuitive, they have cited is ease of use, intuitive AI. Matter of fact, we heard from Food Revolution Network, who came back to Help Scout recently, that one of the reasons they came back was the intuitive AI and the ease of use. They actually said for their teams, it felt like they were coming home. So that says a lot about the platform and about
It's a great testament.
Right, absolutely.
Absolutely. Are you guys, I met you in Atlanta. Did you fly in for that meeting?
I did. I live in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, that's a beautiful town.
Love it.
Love Charleston.
Yes.
I grew up going to Spoleto Festival.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's still every year, right?
We were just looking at the Spoleto, the agenda, the program.
Yeah, it's April, May timeframe?
It's April, May. That's right. Yes.
Because it rained till half the time when I was there, and it's sometimes it's a little bit muddy, but it's fantastic.
It can be, but it's beautiful.
No, Spoleto's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
You
Absolutely.
got it. See you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a wrap from Las Vegas and HIMSS25. Thank you all for listening. And I certainly want to offer a note of gratitude to the dedicated partners of my weekly syndicated show. And also, again, thanks to everyone who voted us 2024 Healthcare Podcast of the Year. Thank you so much, Roberta Mullen, Greg Masters, Carol Flagg, and the entire crew at the Healthcare Now Radio Network. They've also been producing my show for 11 years, and it's a true blessing to be able to do this every single year. Also, a special note of thanks to Jake Reed, my head of media. Jake did a phenomenal job managing our remote broadcast while here at HIMSS25 and recording from the conference floor and within the AMD booth, as well as the Amazon Web Services Theater. So thank you very much to Jake, and many thanks to all of my show partners, AMD and AWS, and also a shout out to Medallion here, who gave me water for my shows, certainly my lasting shows. So thank you very much to not only AMD and AWS, but certainly Medallion. And then also Bright Hour has a foundation that I want to make a special shout out to. Seppi Browning, Georgia HIMSS, she put together this new foundation to help with workforce development and education in health IT. So Seppi Browning, she's fantastic. HIMSS Georgia chapter, they're always great partners and supporters of my radio show. Great people. So look up Bright Hour Foundation and give her some love and support. And certainly a big thank you to Hal Wolf, Albie Zakes, Morgan Searles, the entire HIMSS team. They're always extremely supportive in the events and broadcasting requirements that I have. And again, thank you so much to all my listeners. We're grateful for you. You make us better with every broadcast. And that's a wrap from Las Vegas. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.